Hi everyone, welcome to our yin class today. I am Stephanie and I'm here with Bridge Yoga of Loomis, California, and I'm going to be leading you through some deep stretches to apply gentle pressure to the connective tissues of the body to help promote greater relaxation and flexibility. So we're going to start today with our mats, have some water handy, and also a pillow and a blanket. You don't need extensive props for this class, but these will help aid and support cushioning the body in some of the postures that we get into. So a yin class is a little bit different from a restorative class. Restorative classes tend to be nice and passive, where you're completely propped up on the mat and really getting into some deep stillness. With a yin class, we will be holding postures for about 3 minutes on each side, and there is a little bit of a challenge in a yin class still, that we're looking for that focus into what's happening deep into the body. So we're going to be turning inward, and I'll be walking you through a little bit of meditation and breathing while we're stretching. So get whatever you need to feel supported, and we'll get going. We're going to start off laying down on our mats, completely on our backs. So finding a position very similar to a shavasana, you're going to lay completely on the mat, palms facing up to the sky, the backs of the hands resting on the earth, and let your feet fall naturally away from each other here. Now you may notice once you arrive on your mat that you need a cushion or something to help support the low back or maybe even the neck and shoulders. So if you want to grab for your blanket and set that up underneath your body in any configuration, please go ahead and do that now. And once you've arrived on your mat, fully supported by the earth, start to take notice of your breath. So bring your awareness to the sensation of the breath moving in through the nose, filling the lungs, and then going right back out again. And there is no need to alter or change the breath, but simply become aware of this space, allowing yourself to be fully present here. Noticing your connection of your body to the earth, and the back expanding into the mat with each inhale, moving gently back toward the sky with each exhale. And this is truly the first job of a yogi, is just to be present and observe. I invite you to close your eyes here or soften your gaze, keeping your eyelids softened downward if they're not fully closed. Start to enjoy that sensation of the breath rising and falling. Beginning to deepen the breath here. See if you can expand your lungs so that the breath comes all the way into the top. And as you exhale, allow your breath to empty completely. So pushing that air all the way out until there's nothing left, and then start your next inhale. So now as we begin to deepen the breath, it's a good chance to take an internal weather report of the day. All of the thoughts, any words or emotions that might show up here are just like the clouds in the sky. So begin to observe the shape that your clouds are taking today. Maybe you see them white and fluffy, or maybe they're dark and heavy, maybe wispy and light, or maybe your sky doesn't have any clouds at all. And none of these are better or worse, but simply a way of observing and connecting to our thoughts. And as you watch all of those emotions, words, or feelings coming in and out, you'll find that they shift and change as you watch them. So as we move through our yin practice today, all that I ask is that you keep breathing And the most important thing is that you're able to observe and sit with yourself with a little bit more steadiness and ease. We'll bring our dominant hand up to our heart and the opposite hand to the solar plexus, that space between the rib cage and the belly button. Take a deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more cleansing breath, deep inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Now, keeping the lips sealed, we'll continue to breathe in and out through the nose. If there is an intention that you have for your practice today, or if you would like to dedicate the efforts of your practice to someone or something, take that time to do so now. Checking in with what it is that your heart truly desires for yourself in this space and at this time. As we've all been sheltering in place for about a month now, sometimes our thoughts can be restless. Maybe our emotions are feeling ragged. Maybe we're not able to connect to the things that we are used to connecting to in our life. So allow this time on the mat to be time for you, time to just be here. And knowing that whatever that you were holding on to, whatever stress, whatever things that you still need to do after this class today will still be there for you. So go ahead and set those to the side. Taking both arms up, reaching overhead, lengthen the body, pointing the toes away from the arms. We'll stretch and lengthen the spine. Soften down into the mat, releasing the stretch. And then bring the arms over to that right corner of the mat, taking the top of the body and curving into a banana shape, keeping the hips perfectly still and where they were. And then taking your left hand, place it on top of the right hand. And then allow all of your fingers to alternate so that your fingertips are pressed down into the earth. With your legs, you're going to walk them over to the right corner of your mat on the bottom, finding that banana shape here. So you're in a full crescent from the feet all the way up to the hands. And then taking your left foot, we'll cross it over the right ankle. Noticing a deepening stretch and isolation on that left side of the body. Taking your gaze over toward your right arm, allow your cheek to rest gently on your upper arm. And then allow yourself to soften into the mat here. So once you have set up your shape, connect again to where that sensation is happening in your body. Can you feel that stretch on the left side through the intercostal muscles? And we'll be here for a few moments. Start to notice again that sensation of the breath. Notice the 4 parts of the breath, the inhale and a pause at the top, an exhale and a pause at the bottom. And if there is any word or emotion or color that shows up for you here, start to observe what that looks like with eyes closed or gaze softened. Become aware of the breath and where it is moving through the body. Can you notice at the top of the breath how the stretch on the left side of the body deepens? And as you exhale, your body softening down toward the earth just a little bit more. Be kind here with your body in this posture. As we stay in these positions a little bit longer, the stretch starts to become more intense and deeper. We're allowing gravity to work on our body and everything is settling in. See if you can use your breath to help soften any of those areas that you're holding a little bit more tension. And relax a little bit deeper toward the earth here. And if these postures of stillness are ones that are more challenging for you, there's always the breath. There's always something to observe here. See if you can make your inhales even with your exhales. In this yin class, part of the challenge of our postures is to be able to let go and to trust. So knowing that I will lead you out of the posture and into a new one when it is time. And also knowing that you are perfectly supported here by the earth, and that your blanket and your pillow are always here for you whenever you need them. So while we connect to our challenge in this posture, in this yin class, see if you can find an area in the body where you're feeling this stretch the most. Maybe through the left shoulder, maybe through that left hip, maybe through the abdominals and the lengthening of the core. But whatever it is, know that you don't need to suffer in this posture. That if you ever feel a sharp pain or if your breath starts to become too ragged, that's a signal to ease out. Maybe uncrossing the hands or uncrossing the ankles. Every posture here is adaptable to you. Let's uncross our ankles if you have not already and start to walk the feet back into center. Allowing the feet to fall naturally away from each other again. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, begin to walk the hands back to center. Realign your body on your mat. Bring the arms down toward the side of the body. Release the shoulders here. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Lengthening the arms up above the body again. Stretch away from the feet. And then start to walk the arms over to the left corner of the mat. Taking the upper body with you, shifting the shoulders so that your hips stay where they are, but your upper body is creating a crescent stretch. Take that right hand and over the left, interlace the fingers so that the fingernails can all rest on the earth. And then taking the legs over to that bottom left corner of the mat, find your crescent shape from the ankles all the way up and over to the hands. Now taking your right leg, cross it over the left so that the ankles are resting on each other here. And then allow your hips to fall open. So you're allowing the hips to face completely up to the sky. And then taking your left cheek over toward your left arm, allow your cheek to rest on your upper arm and settle in here. So once you find your shape, connect again here to the breath, allowing your body to settle into the mat. Notice that 4-part breath, an inhale and a pause. Exhale and a pause. So our breath, just like our thoughts, is continuous. And while it may shift and change, it is continuously moving. Allow your body to find stillness here. And with each exhale, sink a little bit deeper into the earth. Notice gravity working on your body as you sink a little bit deeper into your mat. And that stretch in the right side of the body lengthening. See if you can keep your right shoulder open and allow your shoulder blades to relax into the earth here. Watch as the breath rises and falls. That expanse of the back into the earth, the rise of the belly up to the sky. And with each exhale, softening inward. If you find that you're holding too much tension in your arms, see if you can soften your elbows and upper arms down toward the earth just a little bit more. Allowing your arms to open away from your ears. Backs of the hands connected to the mat. As the posture begins to become a little bit more challenging or that stretch becomes a little bit deeper, see if you can send your breath into those areas where you're feeling that tension or feeling that resistance in the body. And with each exhale, sink in just a little bit more. On your next inhale, take a deep breath. Uncrossing the ankles. As you exhale, walk the feet back into center and allow the toes to fall away from each other. One more deep breath in. As you exhale, bring your hands back to the top of the mat, resetting the upper body. As you exhale, sweep the hands down to the side of the body, release the shoulders here. Take an inhale, allow the belly to rise up to the sky. Exhale, let it go. Now bending the knees, we'll draw our feet up, bringing the soles of the feet to the mat. Feet about hip distance or wider, and allow the tailbone to rest. So resetting your sacrum here, allowing the lower spine, your lumbar spine, to relax all the way onto the mat. And we'll windshield wiper the legs side to side. Allowing the knees to alternate to the left and the right, and releasing the hips here. Slow down the movement following your breath. Taking an inhale over to one side, and then an exhale over to the other side. Maybe you go even slower still, allowing an inhale and an exhale to complete one movement. See if your knees can sink just a little bit deeper toward the earth. And then finding some stillness with your knees brought back up to center. Allow your knees to fall in toward each other and rest here. Bring the hands down to the side of the body and turn the palms up to the sky. Then bringing the knees in toward the chest. Bring the hands to the tops of the knees, hug them in. Now for every body, this is going to look different. So maybe you keep your hands on top of your knees here. And just enjoy that lengthening of the backs of the legs and into the glutes as you hug in. Maybe you're able to bring your arms all the way around your knees to your shins. So wherever you are in this hug, start to notice that deepening into the hips. So as we've been laying on our backs and lengthening the body, now we're starting to curl in and compress everything inward. So start to draw the forehead up toward the knees, bringing the shoulders off of the mat.
Hug in here. Maybe you're balancing on that mid part of the back through the spine. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, release the shoulders and the back of the head toward the mat. And then relax the knees, the soles of the feet come back to the earth. Allow the knees to fall open, the soles of the feet connecting here into a reclined butterfly. So the hands find the tops of the thighs and gently press away from the upper body so we're lengthening the spine. Reach the crown of the head up and away from the feet. And the intensity of this posture is up to you. So if you want a little bit more sensation through the hips, you're going to draw the heels and the soles of the feet up, creating a more tight diamond shape. And if you want a little bit less sensation, you're going to draw the feet away from the upper body, lengthening your shape. Now you have a blanket and a pillow here. So you'll notice as gravity starts working on your knees, drawing your legs open a little bit more, that depth of the stretch here through the hips becomes more intense. So if you like to use your props here to support your knees on each side of the body, you can bring a pillow to one side or a blanket to the other. Maybe you have a few more props here. So find yourself as supported as you need to be to allow that sensation of the opening of the hips here, but not creating too intense of a posture where we can't stay in it. So you can keep the hands connected here to the upper thighs, or allow the arms to rest to the side of the body, palms up. Wherever you are in your reclined butterfly, check in again here with your breath. So as we begin to soften into this posture, allow with each exhale your body to soften a little bit deeper into your mat. Notice those areas where maybe you're holding too tight, that grip of the muscles onto bone, or where you feel like you need to be holding yourself up. Allow yourself to relax here and know that the ground is here to hold you. A great way to connect to your yin postures is to systematically check in with the body from the top all the way down with each posture that we find stillness in. So beginning at the crown of the head, allow your gaze to soften or your eyes to close. Allow the jaw to relax. Notice your eyes softening down toward your ears. Feel the shoulders relaxing into the earth and the arms becoming heavy. Allow the fingers to curl in toward the palms of the hands. Feel that expanse of the back as you inhale and the softening of the belly as you exhale. Notice the 4 parts of your breath. An inhale and a pause at the top of your inhale. Exhale and a pause at the base of your exhale. And as you inhale, bring awareness to your breath in. As you exhale, bring awareness to your breath out. So as we draw awareness to different parts of the body or different aspects of this posture, what we're doing is drawing the mind to watch and observe. So allowing our thoughts to float along the breath, like an ocean wave building all the way to the top. And as you exhale, allowing that ocean wave to sink back in. Notice your hips, your thighs, your knees, your shins, your ankles, and your feet, all becoming heavy. Allow your whole body to soften and sink a little bit more into the earth. aware of whatever color or word or emotion shows up for you here in this posture. Observing the shape of your clouds and how your sky is looking now. Are your clouds retaining their shape as they did at the beginning of our practice? Or have they moved and adjusted in your sky? Maybe your clouds are distant and far off. Or perhaps they've moved in a little bit closer here. Notice the colors that shape your sky, whether it's bright and clear, with clouds white, or are the colors soft? Maybe your sky is bright blue, or you notice it orange and purple and red. Whatever the colors are that you find in your sky here, notice the depth of the intensity of the color and the shapes of the clouds. Allow your breath to deepen again, bringing your inhales a little bit more full. The belly rises toward the sky. And as you exhale, allow your breath to soften again. Bring the hands to the tops of the thighs if they are not already, and gently guide the knees in towards center, rising up toward the sky. Soles of the feet find the earth. We'll bring the soles of the feet about hip distance apart and allow your legs to windshield wiper here. Gently falling toward the left and to the right. And finding stillness, bringing the knees back up to center. Lift the soles of the feet off of the earth, drawing the knees in toward the chest. So with the hands to the tops of the knees or hugging around to the shins, curl in tight here. So you find your connection to this shape of hugging in tight, whatever that looks like to you as you isolate that sensation through the inner part of the hips and to the glutes here. Maybe rocking side to side in your ball. And then finding stillness again, bring the forehead up toward the knees. Hug in just a little bit tighter here. Balancing on the mid-back through the thoracic spine, hug in just a little bit more. As you exhale, soften and release, bringing the shoulders and the back of the head to the earth, soles of the feet find the mat. We'll roll over now onto our right side. So removing any props that we may have been using in our reclined butterfly. And extend the right arm up, lengthening to the top of the mat. Allow your right ear and cheek to rest on your right arm. And then bringing your left hand forward, just in front of the shoulder, we're going to keep the knees bent. So we're fully relaxed onto that right side of the body. Our left shoulder is lifted up to the sky. Taking that left leg, we're going to extend it and then rest the foot onto the earth. Then extending that right leg underneath, we're creating a scissor shape with the legs here. So our top leg is extended, reaching forward and away. And then taking your left arm, that upper arm, reaching up to the sky, lengthen through the shoulder all the way to the fingertips. Feel this stretch and expanse here. We're energetically connecting the legs into the mat and into the earth. So the inside of the left foot is pressed down into the mat. Our right hand, the palm is turned up to the sky. We have the back of the hand connected to the mat here. Now reaching that left arm down toward our legs. Extend that stretch that you cultivated from that reached up to the sky, and lengthen the arm a little bit further. Now bending your right knee, so the leg that is on the bottom here, bring the ankle up toward your hand and catch in your foot here. So you're stretching that quad on the right side, and then allow your left shoulder to open as you bring the back of the head to the earth. So you're opening your shoulders here. And maybe both of your shoulders find connection to the ground here, or you're just keeping your left shoulder open, that heart and collarbone reaching up to the sky. Settle in here, feeling that stretch through that right quadricep into the right hip flexor, allowing your left hip and upper body to open just a little bit more. Notice where in your body you're feeling this stretch the most. And connect again here to your breath. Closing your eyes or softening your gaze. Start to notice how your sky is feeling here in this posture. When we move and transition from one posture to another, we get everything moving and mixed up. And now's the time to let all of those sensations settle again. So finding your connection a little bit deeper into the earth here. Become aware of your breath, and if you're able to take a slow inhale and a slow exhale, see if you can make your inhales even with your exhales. Notice where in your body you're feeling this posture the most. Sometimes we set up into a yin posture and then find as gravity begins to work on the body that the stretch and the sensation becomes a lot deeper, sometimes rather quickly. So if you find that part of your body has become a more intense stretch than you anticipated, see if you can gently adjust and use your breath to ease those parts of the body to soften just a little bit more. So instead of holding on a grip a little bit too tight to our bone, see if you can relax into that stretch and enjoy that deepening sensation through the muscles and through the connective tissues of the body. On your next inhale, release your left hand and reach it up to the sky, lengthening the shoulder again to the fingertips. Bringing that left hand over and in front of the body, gently place it on the mat, bringing your cheek back to your right arm. We'll unbend that lower leg and lay it long on the mat. And then bending your left knee, draw it back to the upper body, both knees hugging in. Relax here for a breath or two on your right side. Pressing away from the earth with the left hand, roll onto your back, bringing your right arm back through center. Knees come up to the sky. Placing the feet about hip distance apart or wider, gently windshield wiper the legs side to side. And then coming back up through center with your knees, We'll roll onto the left side of the body. Allow the left arm to extend up and away from the mat. Allow both of your knees to hug in toward the chest. Keeping the knees bent, the right hand comes to the back. Allow your left ear and cheek to rest onto that left arm. Now taking your upper leg, that right leg that's on top, extend it long and reach forward, scissoring the legs so that the inside of your right foot is connected to the earth, and then extend your left leg long underneath, pressing both legs energetically into the mat. Start to notice this stretch here through that left hip flexor. Then bring your right arm up to the sky, reaching away from the shoulder. Your gaze is up toward your thumb. So a little bit of a spinal twist here. Find that reach and extension first here from the shoulder, the underarm, all the way through the elbow to the fingertips. Now keeping that length and extension, reach the hand down toward the legs. Lengthen here, notice that stretch extending from the base of the skull all the way down into the shoulder. Then bending your left knee, so the leg that is on the bottom, bring that ankle up toward the hand and see if you can catch the foot with your hand here. So this starts to deepen that stretch through the quadricep on that left side and through the hip flexor. The right leg is still extended long. Then begin to fold open, bringing your right shoulder toward the mat and allowing the back of the head to rest on the earth. The upper body is open toward the sky. Our left arm is extended up and past our mat, reaching away from the lower half of the body. And settle in again here with your breath. Notice the 4 parts of the breath. An inhale and a pause at the top. An exhale and a pause at the bottom. See if you can identify an area of the body where you're holding a little bit too much tension here. And with each exhale, soften toward the earth just a little bit more. Maybe both of your shoulders are able to reach to your mat, or maybe you're just keeping your collarbone and heart open to the sky as your right shoulder reaches. So wherever you are in this posture, find your connection to the shape. For every person, the challenge in this posture will be a little bit different. Maybe you're feeling it the most in that left hip flexor and quadricep. Maybe you're feeling that stretch of that right arm reaching toward the foot, not quite making it, but just lengthening the arm as much as you can to keep your engagement in this posture. It is said that when you want the posture to end is when it really begins. So see if you can find your connection here to the breath. And if a posture of stillness is challenging for you, see if you can follow your breath and where it moves through the body. Scanning from the top of the body all the way down and releasing any more tight holds that you have here and allowing your whole body to relax a little bit deeper into the earth. Allow any thoughts, emotions, words, or colors that you find here to ride along the top of the breath. On your next inhale, release that right hand, reach back up to the sky, lengthening the arm. Find that extension through the fingertips. As you exhale, bring the right hand over to the mat and roll onto the left side, bringing your left ear and cheek back to the left arm. Then bending your right knee, that upper leg, come back into position on the mat with the knees hugged in toward the chest. Allow yourself to pause here for a breath or two. Now pressing away from the earth with the right hand, roll onto your back, bringing your arms back in through center and the knees up toward the sky. Allow the feet to settle about hip distance or wider on your mat, and windshield wiper the legs side to side. So allowing a release of the back and through the hips. Finding stillness with your knees, coming back up through center. Bring the soles of the feet and the knees here together, and then roll onto your right side, following through all the way onto the belly. Allow your hands to cross over here, the forearms resting on the earth, tops of the feet are pressed down, and bring your forehead to your hands. So leaving space here for your breath as your gaze is down toward your mat. And then bringing the feet out about hip distance or wider, maybe even to the corners of your mat. Allow your hips and your legs to all relax and sink a little bit deeper into your mat. And release any grip that you're holding onto with your muscles here into the legs, and allow them to soften into the earth just a little bit more. And then bringing that forehead again to your hands. Allow your shoulders and your upper body to relax into the mat. Connect again here to your breath. An inhale and a pause. An exhale and a pause. On your next inhale, start to draw your forehead up away from your hands and bring your gaze ahead of you. Drawing the elbows in toward the rib cage, bring the hands underneath the line of the shoulders. Keeping the elbows in nice and tight, draw the heart open as you press your hands gently into the mat for a baby cobra. Pressing the legs now into the earth, tops of the feet are pressed down. See if you can feel the gentle lift of the kneecaps up off of the mat. Bring your shoulders down away from your ears and the shoulder blades in on the back of the body. Heart is open. One more deep breath in. As you exhale, soften the chest down toward the earth. Release that grip of the muscles on the arms and the legs. Resting your chin or your forehead onto the earth, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Bringing your forearms to the earth, the elbows now connected to the mat, palms of the hands and fingers on the mat. Start to lift the gaze as you come up into Sphinx pose. So lifting the heart and then drawing the arms forward just a little bit more so that the elbows are connected just under the shoulders here. Our upper arms are engaged and we're pressing down into the earth as we lift the heart, back bend here. And if this tends to be a little bit too much of a back bend through the low lumbar spine, see if you can tilt the pelvis so that the tailbone is pointing more toward your feet to lift the low belly up off of the mat just a little bit more. Reach the collarbones away from each other here, drawing the shoulder blades together, and connect here with your breath in Sphinx pose. Start to notice that 4-part breath, an inhale and a pause, an exhale and a pause.
And with your eyes closed or your gaze softened, see if you can notice into the body where you're feeling this posture the most. So as we have our eyes closed and cut out any visual distractions, it allows us to more fully be present and aware of the sensations that we're feeling through the body, and brings our visualization instead to the breath. Watching the shape that the breath takes as it moves in through the nose, filling the lungs, and softening right back out again. As you inhale, bring awareness to the breath in. And as you exhale, bring awareness to the breath out. Notice where your body is connected to the mat here, where the fingertips touch the earth, how your forearms and elbows are connected into the mat and pressing down, how the crown of the head lifts just a little bit higher. There are so many subtleties in each of these postures that being able to hold and breathe into each of these yin sequences allows us to more fully be present and engaged in the posture, giving us a chance to observe every part of the body and every part of this stretch. Notice the length of the spine all the way down to the sacrum. Feel that connection of the thighs, the knees, the shins, and the tops of the feet to the mat. Notice the soles of the feet, the heels, the calves, the hamstrings, the glutes, the line of the back all the way up to the shoulders. Notice the heart opening forward. As you breathe in, feel the stretch of the abdominals, that lengthening of the front of the body. As you breathe out, soften just a little bit deeper into the earth. Notice where you're rooted and connected here. One more deep breath in. As you exhale, begin to lower toward the mat once more, drawing the hands to the line of the shoulders. Bring the elbows in toward the ribs as the chest finds the earth, and resting the chin or the forehead onto the mat. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Release the arms now down to the side of the body, and bring your right cheek onto the earth so that your gaze is turned toward the left. Pause here for a breath or two. Now taking your gaze over to the right side, bring your left cheek to the earth, and allow yourself to settle here for a breath or two. Bringing the gaze back to center, resting the chin or the forehead onto the mat, we'll draw our hands up and under the line of the shoulders so the palms are connected to the earth, elbows in toward the ribs. As you inhale, lift the gaze forward, opening the heart, press away from the earth with the hands, lifting onto the knees into a tabletop position, bringing the knees underneath the hips, the hands underneath the shoulders here. So as you gaze down toward your knees, you do not want to see your feet. Bringing the hands just under the line of the shoulders or a gentle paw print in front of the line of the shoulders to take some tension off of the wrists. We'll open the gaze forward, heart draws open as the belly drops. Exhale, rounding the spine, tucking the chin into cat pose, and hold here. So pressing away from the earth, allowing the spine to rise up toward the sky. Bring the gaze a little bit more fully toward your belly button. Notice the change in the breath here.
than when we were laying on the earth, and how the belly has more space. Take one more full breath cycle in your cat pose. On your next inhale, come back to a neutral spine. The gaze is down toward the hands. Bring the big toes together. The knees draw toward the edges of the mat, creating a diamond or triangle shape with the legs. And then sink the hips back toward the heels here, coming into child's pose. So if you have a blanket or a pillow here that you want to use to cushion this posture, which is a deep stretch through the hip flexors, you're going to bring a blanket underneath your sits bones, resting across the calves to help cushion and ease that sit into this posture. Walking the hands all the way to the top of the mat, bring the forehead down to the earth. And as we activate that pressure point of the forehead down onto the mat, we release that deep tension and relax further into the earth. If you want to use your second prop to help cushion the upper body, you can bring your pillow or your alternate blanket to the upper half of the body and allow your arms to be long here, resting your cheek to one side or the other. And while we may be using props in this posture, we still want to connect to that deep stretch and challenge of the posture. So feeling into that opening of the hips and gravity pulling on the body down a little bit further toward the earth. See if you can connect again to your breath here, taking a deep inhale, pause at the top, exhale, pause at the bottom. Find your connection to this shape and settle into the challenge of your posture here. Notice where in the body you're feeling it the most. And with each exhale, see if you can soften a little bit deeper into this stretch. Notice where your fingertips are connected to the earth, your arms sinking just a little bit more into the mat. Feel that expanse of the belly on an inhale and that gentle softening on an exhale. If you had your gaze turned to one side, go ahead and switch sides now. Take note of that internal weather report, how the clouds are looking here in this posture. How have they shifted and changed in your sky? And any color or word or emotion that shows up for you here, allow it to ride on top of the breath. Deepening more fully into this shape. Notice that full support of the earth and gravity easing you down into the mat just a little bit more. On your next inhale, walk the hands back underneath the line of the shoulders. Gently press away from the earth as you lift your upper body, removing any props that you may have been using. Sitting the hips back onto the heels. We'll bring the knees in together and sit into a hero pose or virasana. So as we bring our knees and our legs together, we're going to keep the heels a little bit wider so that we don't have the feet fully connected, but we're allowing them to sit a little bit wider to the outer edges of the sits bones. In a more traditional virasana, you would keep the feet out wider than the edges of the hips and sit the hips all the way to the earth. So if full hero pose is open to you, just be mindful of this stress on the knee joints. Otherwise, coming into a little bit more modified hero, you can keep the heels underneath the sits bones, maybe even tucking the toes if you want a deeper stretch through the arches of the feet. So you find your connection to this posture here. Sitting with the hands onto the tops of the thighs, we're going to keep the palms down, fingers relaxed. Inhale, the shoulders lift up to the ears. Exhale, relax the shoulders down. Inhale, bring your shoulders up. Exhale, shoulders relax down, and pause here. Feel that widening of the collarbones, the stretch of the heart open. And then settle into your shape here. Notice the expanse of the belly forward on an inhale. And then a softening on an exhale. See if you can lift the crown of the head up just a little bit higher, tilting the chin down toward the chest to lengthen the back of the neck. Find your connection to the challenge in this posture, whatever that challenge looks like to you. Whether it's the pressing of the tops of the feet down into the earth, the stretching of the toes and the arches of the feet tucked under. Maybe it's being able to find stillness and finding a connection to this shape that is fidget-free. As you inhale, bring attention and awareness to the breath in. And as you exhale, bring awareness to the breath out. See if you can make your inhales even with your exhales. And with each yin posture, we have the opportunity to scan the body from the top all the way down, taking note of all of the subtleties that we're feeling here. So beginning at the crown of the head, softening the forehead and that space between the eyebrows, keeping the eyes closed or the gaze softened so that we can cut out any visual distractions and instead visualize the shape of the breath. Allow the muscles of the face to soften down and the shoulders relax away from the ears. Notice the arms becoming heavy and relaxing a little bit more downward. Feel that connection of the hips, the thighs, the knees, the shins, the calves, the heels, the ankles, the tops of the feet, the bottoms of the feet. Notice where in the body you're feeling this posture the most. And instead of reacting or shifting and changing immediately, see if you can sit with this posture and whatever challenge it is that has shown up here for you. Just like the weather and the clouds in the sky, notice how that sensation moves and changes. Allow yourself to be fully present and inward here. And if any thoughts of the past or of the future have started to creep back in, maybe any stress or tension about your day or your week, see if you can let those things go again here. Allow your body to release them. As you focus more on what is happening right now. Can you feel your connection to your mat? And notice how your body is organized above the earth. Feel that connection again to your breath. A deep inhale and a pause. An exhale and a pause. Bringing the hands forward and in front of you, hinging from the hips, allow your body to fold out of your hero pose, releasing your feet if you had your toes tucked under, or just lifting the hips up off of the heels, wherever you were in your hero pose. Allow your feet to sweep around as you sit your hips back, bringing your feet in front of you on the mat. We'll bend the knees, drawing the soles of the feet to the edges of the mat, hands gently behind the hips, and we'll windshield wiper the legs here. So releasing the tops of the feet, releasing the toes, and allowing your feet to stretch in whatever way they need to counter your hero posture. So if you'd like to curl your toes in and squeeze them in here, and then release and stretch your toes wide, spreading your toes apart. See if you can feel that release through the ankles and through the feet as our legs shift side to side. And bringing your knees back to stillness, up toward the sky. I'm going to turn toward you so that you can see me in this final sequence. We're going to extend the legs in front of the body. Then bending the right knee, draw the sole of the foot up and cross the right foot over that left leg. Now you can keep the left leg extended here as we move into Gomukhasana, which is cow face pose, or you can bend both legs, so I'll show you both options. You'll bring your right ankle over toward your left hip and allow your right knee to fold forward. And then bending your left knee, if you like this option, you can bend that left leg and draw your left heel up toward your right hip. We want to keep our hips squared though onto the mat or onto the earth. So you're going to already notice this isolated sensation on the outer edges of each hip. And we want to keep our knees aligned as much as we can, so having the knees into center. This is a great place for a blanket or a pillow to help support and cushion the knees. So bringing your prop in front of the body helps to bring the ground up to meet you. Now if this is a little bit too intense with both legs bent, you can keep the lower leg straight while keeping the upper leg crossed over. But again, we want to try to keep our knees aligned. So see if you can draw that left leg a little bit crossed over so that both legs are coming in toward the center. And however you like to use your props is up to you. Settle in here with the legs first, gently allowing that gravity to pull down the knees and deepen that sensation through the hips. Now I have my right knee on top, so I'm going to take my opposite arm, my left arm, reach it up away from the shoulder, lengthen here. Then bending the left elbow, draw the fingers down and reach toward the spine. Notice this stretch through the triceps, bringing the elbow up toward the sky just a little bit more. Then taking my right arm, sweeping down to the side of the body, bend that right elbow, drawing the fingertips up so that the fingers are reaching toward each other on the back of the body. Maybe they're able to touch and you can grasp your fingers together, or maybe they're just reaching toward each other. Press the legs more fully down into the earth as you sit tall, reaching the crown of the head up to the sky. Deep stretch here through the shoulders and through the hips. And see if you can connect again here to your breath. An inhale and a pause. An exhale and a pause. And if this posture and finding stillness is challenging for you, I invite you to watch that length of your breath again.
that cooling sensation of the inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, allowing the breath to soften. Checking in with whatever word or color or emotion shows up for you here and allowing that to rise up and fall with the breath. Notice where in your body you're feeling this the most, and see if you can send the breath into those areas. And with each exhale, release the hold on anything that is no longer serving you here. Maybe those are some of your thoughts. Maybe that's some tension and grip that you're holding on to a little too tight. Sit with yourself here with a little bit more steadiness and ease. One more deep breath in. As you exhale, release your hands, allowing your left arm to reach high, the right arm reaches low, bringing the arms back down to center. We'll uncross the legs the way that we came. So uncrossing your bottom leg first, and then taking your top leg and extending long on the mat. Go ahead and shake it out if you like. And then finding stillness, we'll bend the left knee, drawing the sole of the foot up to the mat. We'll cross the left foot over the right, and then start to draw that left heel toward your right hip bone, allowing your knee to fold open toward your extended leg. So we'll pause here, start to notice that connection and isolation and the sensation of the left side of the hip. And if you want to involve the bottom leg into this bend, you're going to bend the right knee, drawing the heel over toward the left hip. We want to try to keep the knees aligned. So as long as our sits bones are able to stay squared onto the mat, you can even bring a prop in front of the knees to support your legs here. You always have the option to keep that lower leg extended long on the earth. I have my left knee on top, so I'm going to take my opposite arm, my right arm, up and away from the shoulder. Find that extension and lift here. Then bending the right elbow, take the fingertips down and reach toward the spine. You'll notice this stretch through the triceps as the elbow lifts up toward the sky just a little bit more. So you want to keep your upper arm in and toward your ear. And then bringing your left arm down toward the side of the body, bend the left elbow, drawing the fingertips up toward the right fingertips. And notice how this side of the body may be feeling a little bit different than the first side. Maybe you're able to grip your hands together on this side of the body, or maybe not quite as easy and your fingertips are just reaching in toward each other. Our heart is open, collarbones reach away, softening the gaze or closing the eyes. Connect again here to your breath. Inhale and a pause. Exhale and a pause. Begin to scan the body for tension, beginning at the top and moving all the way down. So notice how the arm is lifted, that stretch here through the triceps. Moving down into the shoulders, sinking away from the ears. Feel that expanse of the collarbones on the front of the body and the room for the breath here. With each exhale, soften down toward the earth just a little bit more. Feel where your sits bones are connected into the mat and that sensation on the outer edges of the hips, through the glutes. Extending into the quadriceps. Notice the connection of the knees. Moving down through the shins, the calves, the ankles, and to the feet. See if you can release the grip that you may be holding with your toes and soften the feet even more into the earth. With each inhale, notice where the breath is moving through the body. And as you exhale, gently release anything that you're holding onto which is no longer serving you. Maybe that's a tighter grip of the muscles to the bones. or releasing any thoughts of the past or of the future, and then just allow yourself to be fully present here. One more deep breath in. As you exhale, release the arms, stretching the right arm high, the left arm reaches low. Bring them both back to center. And then we'll uncross the legs the way that we came in. So removing any props that we may be using, extending that lower leg first. And then the upper leg, lengthening both legs and shaking them out. We'll draw the soles of the feet back up to the mat, bending the knees. And with the hands gently behind the line of the hips, windshield wiper your legs side to side. With both legs, finding stillness once again, reach them long on your mat. And go ahead and lay all the way down onto your back. Bringing any props with you that you may find that you need in this posture. We're going to be coming into a Shavasana. So that could look like supporting your low back with a blanket, or even finding an incline here. If you like, you can bring your blanket behind you, set your pillow on top. If you like a little bit more of an angled posture. So however you find your Shavasana here, allow your arms to relax down at the side of the body. Palms facing up, backs of the hands connected to the earth. In Shavasana, corpse pose, we want to be able to find complete stillness with the body while remaining active in the mind. So find a posture that allows you to be fidget free, where you could be fully relaxed to the earth. Begin to scan the body for tension here in your Shavasana. Beginning at the crown of the head, softening the space between the eyebrows, and allowing the gaze to soften or the eyes to close. Relax the ears and the muscles of the jaw. Notice your whole body relaxed and supported into the mat. Bring your awareness to your breath in and awareness to your breath out. Allow yourself to be still here. And notice any thoughts, words, colors, or emotions that show up for you here, and allow them to ride along the top of the breath. Notice your hips, your legs, your ankles, and your feet all becoming heavy and sinking more into the earth. And allow these next few moments all for you. Begin to deepen your breath.
bending the knees. Draw the soles of the feet up to the mat, and then draw your knees into your chest. Reaching your arms above the head, lengthen the body, and then gently roll onto your favorite side, either your right or your left. Using the support of the hands, you'll push away from the earth, coming up into a seated posture, just like we did at the beginning, into a Sukhasana or easy cross-legged pose. Then bringing the hands up to the heart, thumbs connected at the sternum. Take a deep breath in and deep breath out. Check back in again with your intention for your practice here. Whatever it is that your heart's desire is for your day and for your week. Go ahead and open your eyes. Thank you all for being here to practice with me today. I hope that you're all able to find a deeper state of relaxation and release of tension through the body. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you all for being here to practice with me today. If you enjoyed these videos, I hope you'll check out the rest of what we have in our YouTube library. And as always, if you'd like to donate to our Venmo for the studio, it is at bridge_yoga_Loomis, Loomis, and I will put a link in the description of the video as well. Thank you.